All right, now we have more ArriveCAN Act. Pierre Poliver says this individual should be immediately fired, and there should be an immediate police investigation of the conduct and that of the company which he is associated. This is what from Pierre Poliver. He says this about this newest revelations of $7 million. The government, Defense Minister Bill Blair says, we have suspended all contracts with Dalian. We have suspended the employee and we have launched an investigation on how this person became an employee in the first place. It looks like this David Leo was working for DND since 1987, and they received couple million, and his company received a couple million in contracts since, well, from DND only, a couple million since 2015. Now there's another 7 million for this ArriveCAN. There's other reports of maybe it's up to 200 million this company got while the guy's working for DND. Obviously, there's something fishy. And here's some other background to what's been going on. I don't know anything. I'm just reporting what the politicians are feeding us. This is first reported, broken by CTV, so we got to put our hats off to some actual reporting, you know. Okay.
Dalian and Curatics are in joint venture under the procurement strategy for Indigenous business. We established this joint venture in 2004. In the JV, Dalian provides professional services in cybersecurity and networking, and Curatics provides IT professional services. In every project for the Government of Canada, Dalian follows all procurement and contracting rules and policies. We deliver according to scope of work or task authorizations that we receive, and only invoice for work performed, completed, signed off by technical authorities, or according to the terms and conditions of the
Do
you have a personal relationship with Mr. Frith?
No.
Okay. Mr. Frith boasted that, a committee, this is Mr. Morv's testimony last Thursday, and he cited that Mr. Frith boasted to them that he had dirt on various senior federal public servants who are responsible for awarding government contracts. Did Mr. Frith ever share anything like that with you, or about his connections in the public service?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay. Can you tell me about? Let me get this straight. You submitted information about Ms. Dutt and Mr. Moore to around their task authorization, and you're saying that you're not responsible because you subbed it out to Mr. Frith. Mr. Frith possibly gave you the wrong information about them, inflating their expertise. And you're saying that you're not responsible, even though it's your contract?
No, that's not what I said. We are accepting responsibility. That's our mistake. We have a quality management system in place. We take these matters very seriously. In a case where we're working with a third party, is what this was. We don't engage their subcontractors. We don't engage their consultants. We have non-solicitation agreements. We would never reach out to GC Strategies contractors, and we can only accept those CVs to be valid.
Okay, so why not? Like, I guess when you see a situation like this, next time will you be doing your due diligence? Given
Mr. Chair, and to the member, we are an ISO 9001-2015 certified company, which means our processes are certified. We have a very strict quality management system, and we are in the process right now of examining our processes.
I bet you are.
And we will
Okay.
be making changes.
Okay. So here's the thing. You know, does Mr. Frith come to you and say, "Hey, I've got a solution"? Oh, what's the problem? Or is it more like you go to Mr. Frith and say, "I need help with something"? Or does he come to you and try to engage you?
Yeah, well, if I can speak to, I can answer the question in relation to the Bottler AI task authorization. Is that what you're asking me?
Just overall in your relationship with GC Strategies.
Well, typically, I mean, we don't have a relationship. We have done business from time to time, but typically clients came to us, and in this instance, for the Bottler AI project, they were named in the task authorization request, and CBSA did inform GC Strategies.
So when you hire a subcontractor and they have a dispute with the sub that's subbing from the subcontractor like Bottler and GC Strategies, and there is work been done, but you've been paid for, that one of your subs has been done, do you leave that with the first sub responsibility to pay them? Or because you've been paid for the work that they've been done, like in Bottler's case, where they claim that they've done $350,000 worth of work, do you not take responsibility for that? Or do you communicate with your initial sub and say, the work's been done, why haven't you paid the vendor?
Yeah. Well, CBSA, so there's a few things there, Mr. Chair, and to the member. CBSA received only 2 deliverables from Bottler AI before they terminated their contract. And in these types of relationships, we only communicate with the company that we hold a contractual arrangement with. And it's also a fact.
So they can basically stiff or bankrupt a company that's doing work for Canadian taxpayers. Basically, that sub could bankrupt somebody that's doing honest, good work for Canadians. That's what I'm getting at. Can you tell me who Patrick Van Abema is and what his relationship with you is?
Bottler was paid for both of those deliverables, by the way. Patrick Van Abema was also included on the task authorization for the Bottler AI project.
On the Bottler, any money on the Bottler contract?
Sorry, I missed part of the question.
Did you make a commission on the Bottler contract at all? And if so, how much was it?
Yep. The total value of the Bottler AI, each deliverable was worth $70,000. They submitted 2 deliverables, and Craddox and Dalian made $14,000 on each deliverable.
Great, thank you. Mr. Barrett, please, for 5.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. To Mr. Yeo, what's the structure of your business as it relates to your counterpart on the other side of the desk there? How many employees do you have?
Yeah, Mr. Chair and Mr. Member, thank you very much for the question. So I started the business in 2001.
Not looking for what year it was founded. Looking for the structure, the org chart. If you could provide that in verbal terms in under 30 seconds.
Absolutely. So in 2001, I actually went to Craddox when I first won my first contract out of the PSAB, and we formed a business together, and they now, we basically hold, in a corporate structure, we have 2 full-time employees with Dalian, okay? But we have a shared services model that helps both companies basically, thrive as to what we're doing today.
Thank you. In a minute, we learned you have 2 employees. Dalian and Cordix were paid a combined $4.3 million. Is that correct for the ArriveCAN program?
Approximately, yes.
And what value did Canadians receive for that $4.3 million?
Yeah. So we received approximately 20 task authorizations to deliver IT professional services in software development, testing, project management, and technology architecture and cybersecurity.
Sir, did your employees do that, or did you subcontract that work out?
We work with IT consultants, and they're subcontractors.
Okay. Do you have ongoing business with GC Strategies?
No, they are a subcontractor that we have worked with occasionally.
Was Bottler a subcontractor of yours?
No.
Are all of your subcontractors, do they all have appropriate security clearance?
Absolutely.
Okay, so GC Strategies had the appropriate security clearance always to see the material that they worked on?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Did GC Strategies always have the appropriate security clearance for the projects that they were working on?
Contractors that appear on our contracts must have security duplicated by the company holding the contract. As such, anybody being put forward on a task authorization to any government department, including CBSA, has to have a duplication of their security clearance by that firm.
Is that
Therefore,
true?
we held the security clearance for those 3 contractors on that TA.
So did everyone at Bottler have the appropriate security clearance for the work that they did?
That's what that's what I'm just communicating to you. The three people that were the 3 consultants that were on that TA all had security clearance.
Okay, the folks at Bottler said that they did not have the appropriate security clearance for the work that they were contracted to do.
Mr. Chair, and to the member, we processed their clearances ourselves and granted their security clearance through our security group by CISD. Okay. In addition, they were approved by CBSA's internal screening.
So you also applied the same vetting to their CVs that included their work history. That's correct?
Those CVs were provided by GC Strategies, and unfortunately, some of the information on those CVs was incorrect.
Isn't that part of the value add that you're telling us that Canadians received for the $4.3 million? Isn't that what we paid you for?
That I have from the NDP on this particular concurrence motion. Thank you.
Questions and comments. Question and comment. The Honourable Member for Caribou Prince George.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank our honourable colleague. He is a good soldier. He goes on and on and on, and he quotes lots of things. Well, I'd like to quote something from the media. It's breaking news, and perhaps he'd like to check his phone about a breaking news right now of a Liberal MP that secretly advised a Chinese diplomat in 2021 to delay the freeing of the 2 Michaels. I would like to ask this honourable colleague for a comment onto that.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Well, I'm sitting here, Mr. Speaker. I've been speaking for the last 15 minutes, not including interruptions. I'm unaware of the breaking news that this member is referencing. I'm looking forward to look into it. But we see, once again here, Mr. Speaker, the exact same rhetoric that comes from Conservatives, the exact same thing that the member from Red Deer Lacombe was trying to do when he, walking through an airport, looking like the hero on his way back to Ottawa, was saying, I'm on my way to Ottawa to fight for you and deal with the agents of Beijing. Come on. That's not what this place is supposed to be about, Mr. Speaker. The rhetoric that comes from Conservatives, including that last question, is intentionally trying to mislead Canadians, and I find it extremely unfortunate.
Question